morning, guys, on day 9. I'm leaving the city at 6 a.m., an hour later than I had originally planned, but my body needed the rest. The B&B that I found yesterday was an amazing find. I had an apartment all to myself. Looking for a place to have breakfast, but I doubt that anything is gonna be open. The city is still asleep. I don't see, other than a few cars, I don't see anybody outside. Today and tomorrow are gonna be extremely hot days, above 90 degrees, but they're about 24 kilometers each. Hopefully I'll get to my next town before 1. It all depends how many stops to film and take pictures I make along the way. Not far from Péronne, down a short scenic walk through the woods and near the war-ravaged village of Douan, lies one of the largest megalithic standing stones of northern France. The sun rises on cue on yet another hot day for the record books. That is very interesting. It is cool weather right now. The stone feels cold to the touch, but in the infrared camera you can see that it's still warm, almost as warm as me. Must be the ancient energy stored within it. Ooh. Still no breakfast. In El Camino I would have found somebody with a little stand in the woods and with some needed refreshments, but here at least I have tuna, water, you know, so tasty. Doesn't that make your mouth watering? I could always eat my friend here. I'm just kidding. I walked down the eerie, empty streets of Cartigny in a futile search for an open bar. Not far past the war memorial, just when all hope was lost and I was ready to reach into my emergency food rations, I came across a vending machine. Well, this is new. A bakery vending machine. I think I'm gonna go for one of those croissants. Hopefully they're fresh. Not bad. The machine took a euro from me, but look, I got a croissant and a Napolitano. This is gonna be breakfast. So much for the woods, huh? I'm back in the countryside, in the farm fields of wheatgrass. I'm pushing the trolley. I have my umbrella, but this terrain makes everything vibrate since the trolley doesn't have any shock absorption. So I have to put the camera, strap it on close to me so, you know, the electronic components don't rattle inside. And the last thing I want is the camera to break down or need some kind of tune-up out here. Check out my setup. It ain't pretty, but it works. This umbrella has kept me away from the sun all this past week. And for a second there, I thought about leaving it behind because it didn't fit in my backpack. But thankfully, the airline let me take it on board. Yes! Wow, that was a tough stretch of up and down, side to side, in the highway, under the sun. And now we're gonna get a little bit of shade in this last patch of forest, if you will, before the final stretch to town. So I made it to town at noon. Got this Francigena from the bar across the street, and now I'm waiting to go to the place where I'm staying today, a Gate, a private house. I got a room there, but it says on booking.com that the check-in is at 6 p.m. So I'm gonna go now and see if at least I can just hang out in the patio or something, you know, wash myself, maybe wash my clothes. Let's see. Hopefully she's understanding of the situation. But for now, it's lunchtime. Still fresh. So get this, I booked this place. I get to the town, I get to the house, knock, nobody answers. I wait outside. I see that there's a car parked, sat across the street in the shade, and waited and waited, and then I noticed they had sent me an email asking me at what time I was gonna be here. So I reply, hey, I'm already outside. There's no answer, like an hour goes by. So I bit the bullet and called them long distance. The lady answered and she tells me that they're not here in town, they're far away, that the earliest that they can get here is 4 o'clock. It's already 2. So I said, all right, fine. I hang up the phone, and not even a minute goes by and she calls me back and she's like, hey, look, there's a key hidden. I'm not gonna tell you where. I get the key. They let me in the house so that I can take a shower and wait for them. I cannot tell you how glad I am that they let me in, because it is 95 degrees outside. Even in the shade, I was just sweating profoundly. I'm so glad that I'm in here. I already took a shower. They're gonna be making dinner for me tonight, which would be the first time that I have a homemade meal. It's just the little things, you know, that you don't notice when you're out here in a pilgrimage. All right, so I just met my host, and she was trying to help me find a place in the next town for tomorrow. And there are only 2 hotels there, and they're both completely booked. I kind of freaked out a little bit there for a second, because that means I will have to walk an extra 33 kilometers. But she managed to find another hotel in a town close by. She called. She needs to call in a couple of hours to make sure that there's space available. If I cannot find a place to stay, I may have to camp, which is not a problem, except that it's extremely hot. It is the hottest day so far this month, I think, from what I've been tracking, if not of the year. My clothes are already drying outside. I washed them in the bathroom. There's a little supermarket, so I may go and get some supplies right now. It is a small town with not much to see or do other than the church, but it does have a bar and a supermarket, and that is extremely valuable for a pilgrim. Just got my supplies. I added a few things that I didn't buy before, such as nuts and energy bars. Got my bananas, got some cold cuts for sandwiches and bread. And I'm gonna treat myself to some sweets. First French dog that likes me. But you pee on my card. I saw you. Well guys, the clothes are dry, and I just had an amazing family dinner with French people from the countryside that are so nice. They treated me extremely well. We had mussels and fries, beer, and I had a little espresso at the end. We talked about the status of the Via Francigena, how many people come through here. She said about 3 people a month are pilgrims. We're in the middle of a heat wave here in Europe. You can't escape it. And tomorrow seems to be the hottest day. Then on Saturday, there's gonna be rain in the forecast, 60% chance. I'm gonna welcome that rain like you wouldn't believe. And until tomorrow, see you.